Hey, what's up, RT Hemi? Getting started a little bit early. Mike, what's up, buddy? Hey, I tried my best to get Racer X to interview me over the internet, but he wouldn't do it. He just wouldn't do it. I kept trying to beat him up. He's like, if you were here, that'd be better. But hey, I tried. Maybe when I go down in for the Modern Street Hemi shootout in March, usually it's in March. I may try and hit him up when I get down there. One Bad Plum, what's up, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. We'll give, Eric, like always, we'll give people a few minutes to get in. We'll do a little bit about Shake and Bake, and hopefully you guys keep me going for another hour. But I am going to start trying to get other people on the channel during Wednesday night. I'm trying to get Brian from Applied Torque Solutions to get in here and talk about transmissions, our ZF transmissions, and what he can do for us, and how he can do it, and all of his parts and the whole 9 yards. I told him to put up his demon in a baggie so it doesn't get flooded. All right, Mike. I hear you. Jay and Ken, what's going on, fellas? We're just gonna give people a few more minutes, and then we'll get the rolling. I know you guys are used to about my 20-second delay, but from when I talk about a comment until it comes across, but it is what it is. Yeah, Mike, that was kind of my thoughts too, and Mac thought it was a good idea, and then eventually when Brian got back to me, he said he said it'd be cool. So it's gonna be a good. I think it's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna try and get him in next week. We'll just have to see how it goes, see if he's available, and we'll go from there. But all right, it's 9 o'clock, so nothing new for Shake and Bake. Surprise, surprise! For once. We're not doing anything with Shake and Bake right now. So the plan is I'm going to hit Mason-Dixon on Saturday, and I'm going to hit Mason-Dixon. We're going to do some more practicing. We're going to do some more running, kind of like we did at Cecil, but hopefully more successful than we were at Cecil. We're going to do some testing, see if we can get the car to run that 9.0. So I can run the 9.0 at MIR for the Modern Street Hemi shootout on the 18th and 19th. So it's both days. They're doing I can't remember exactly what. I know they're doing the bracket, the heavyweights, the outlaws, and the rookie class. All are going to go on Friday, or is that Saturday? Friday, and then the 18th, and then the 19th. All of the index classes will go. So it's going to be both days. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Those Modern Street Hemi shootouts are always a lot of fun. So that's the only real updates I got for Shake and Bake. Is, like I said, we're going to do some testing, and then we're going to hit MIR, and then we're going to get ready for the track rental in November, and that's when we're going all out, pulling out all the stops to go as fast as we can. All right, so let me get into some of the chats here. Jay, I know Brian can't do anything for you. All right, you stick folks, Brian can't do anything for you, but he can do a lot for us ZF folks. So, us 8-speed folks. So, let's see. All right. All right, everybody's going back and forth. Am I going to MIR next weekend? I am going to MIR next weekend. I just talked about that. That's the plan. As long as everything stays healthy, knock on wood, we will be at MIR next weekend for the Modern Street Hemi Shootout. Eric, hope everyone in Florida is safe. Me too. Shout out prayers and thoughts to all those folks in Florida, because yeah, he's coming. it's coming. It's just a matter of time. So thoughts and prayers to everyone there in Florida. Mike, sweet, because that's who I'm going to go with as well. I got you. Yeah, so we'll get. Brian thought it was a good idea, so it's just a matter of when I can get him on. I said, hey, at kind of short notice, we could do it tonight, but it wouldn't give us time to promote it on social media. So probably next week would probably be a better idea. And he really didn't text me back, but we'll get Mac involved, and we'll make sure we make it happen. No, have not got a new lid. So on that front, what I'm waiting for, because Mac has a shaker car at the shop already, we're going to test one of the shear fab lids on the shaker to see if that's actually going to help me and make it fit under the shaker. That's what I would love to happen. I would love if that works out. It's just we're going to have to see what it's going to take. All right, Randy, what's going on? One bad plum. Yeah, I need to get over to the U.S. next year. Yeah, man. Yeah. Maybe we can hit Michigan together. I'm not sure how far you are from the one in Michigan. Ramon, hey buddy, what's up? Jixdan, what's going on? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. RT Hemi, what size tire are you running on Shake and Bake? Is a taller tire better? Looking for a drag setup soon. What are good front skinny tires to run and rears on 17s? So right now I am running Mickey Thompson 305 45 17s. Is a taller tire better? That I need to look into that more. I'm not super familiar on what a taller tire does. I think it slows you down a tad compared to a smaller tire. You don't get as much wheel speed with a taller tire. But I like my 28s. I like my 28s. But if we continue to have hooking problems, we may go with the 315. What are they? 315 40 17s, I think, or something like that. A little bit taller sidewall, so probably a little bit taller tire as well. But 305 45 17s or the 28 by 10.5 by 17 Hoosiers are going to be your best bet. Front skinnies, I run Hoosier bias plies up front. If you're going to, just my opinion, if you're going to drive to the track, which eventually I'm probably going back to, though I got rid of them to go lighter, but now I got so much power, I can put the heavier ones back on the front. I may wind up going back to the Mickey Thompson Sportsman SRs, which are much safer street tire skinny, but they're a lot heavier than the Hoosier bias plies. So kind of a roundabout way to answer your question, but that's what I'm running, and that's what I plan on running. I'm going to stick with the 305 until it really has problems hooking. Until then, I'm going to run 305s. And 315s are always a possibility. Mike, track rental up here Saturday morning. I may go after for some test and tune. Try to get a better ET. Hey, that's all you can do. That's all you can do is give it a try, and if it works out, it works out. If not, hey, it doesn't. You guys know me. Good, bad, win, lose, draw, indifferent. I post everything. There's always someone faster, so just posting every time you win every time doesn't get you anything. Anyway, that's my opinion. But a lot of folks will not post when they lose. But like I said, there's always somebody faster. What class are you going to run in the Modern Street Hemi Shootout? Probably the 9.0 class, because I definitely don't want to slow all the way down to the 10.0 class. So I'm hoping this weekend will really give me a good test, because I'm not going to do the track rental like I usually do. I'm just going to do this weekend and see how it goes. Hopefully we're close to that 9.0, 8.9, 9.1, somewhere in that range this weekend. And I'm going to run the 9.0 class. Oh, Buddy's yard is already under several inches of water. Yeah, I watched Cletus's video today that he posted. I think he posted it yesterday. They still have water from the last hurricane that went through. So this one's really going to compound everything for those folks in Florida. So, again, thoughts and prayers out there. And sounds like Cletus is going to try and stick it out at his place. Thoughts and prayers out to him too. The water tank lid. Yeah, I got to remember not to overfill that water tank this time. I don't think they have ice at Mason-Dixon. I could be wrong. Maybe they do. We'll just have to see. And if they do, maybe we'll pick up a few bags of ice and go for a glory run. But we'll see. Yeah, the shaker would be cool. My hot girlfriend wants the shaker back. I like both. I mean, the high ram sticking out the hood does look pretty cool, but it does draw some unwanted attention sometimes by some unwanted folks. But yeah, I definitely want to get the shaker back. That'll make it more, not necessarily a sleeper, because you're going to hear the blow off valve from the Pro Charger. But put the shaker back on, put the full exhaust back on, and have a little fun. Eric, are you losing horsepower going back to the shaker? It's a possibility. I don't think we will, because that shaker is open in the front, so it's pulling in air from the front, as well as the cut in the hood now is also providing some air down into the hood. And it may even be better because the bottom of the shaker comes out right in front of the Pro Charger. So it's going to push all that air to the velocity stack in the Pro Charger, and maybe we'll pick up some power by doing it. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. And not only the shaker, but I'm not sure if we're going to lose or pick up power by going to the shear fab, the lid. So it'll be interesting to see, one, if it fits, and two, if I can sell my high ram and tick intercooler to go with the shear fab setup. One bad plum, 45 minutes from line. Yeah, maybe let's tentatively set that up next year for the Modern Street Hemi Shootout in Michigan. That'd be cool to meet up. I would definitely love to meet up with you for sure. Jickstan, I'm trying to get me a built trans, since that's harder than getting a 6.4 BGE built. I got you, Jickstan. It is expensive no matter which route you go. Like I said, we're gonna try and get Brian from ATS on here, and he can answer a lot of questions. Hopefully we won't get too many questions and go too long, but yeah, we'll get Brian on here, and you guys can ask him all the questions you want. Tim, what's going on, buddy? Anyone going to do the old man sick day? I think it's called 28s and plates. I don't think so. I haven't heard of it. Brandon, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. Eric's going back to Brandon. Jay, I wish I could do that old man's class, but I got into sick week, so that's my focus after MSHS. All right, so I may look into that old man's thing. I may look into it and see what it's all about. Eric, I'm sure you want to have a problem selling the higher end. Hopefully not, but again, I don't want to do anything until we're absolutely sure that one, the shear fab is going to work. Two, it's going to make roughly the same power. I wouldn't mind losing a little bit of power to go back to the shaker, and it fits. So those are the three things that are really going to determine whether I go that route or not. Brandon's going back to Eric. Sick week's cool. Jay, that's awesome. Yeah, I slept on sick week a little bit. I know Jay signed up for the one in January. Mac really wants to do the one in, I think, June or July in the summer. But I did sign up for the waiting list. So we'll see, where I fall out on the waiting list and if we can possibly make it to sick week with Jay. We'll see what happens. And Jay, if you haven't found a co-pilot, I'll tentatively take that spot if you want. It's up to you. Tentatively write me down for your co-pilot. Let me do some checking with the hot girlfriend. Make sure we don't have anything going on that week, and we'll make it happen. What size are your front skinnies and setup? They're 17-inch. They're Hoosier 28 by 6 or 7, something like that. So they're 28s. They're same size as the rear, 28-inch. I can't remember the width, but they're bias ply. One bad plum. We're having a drag and drive next year for the 3 tracks here in Ontario that I want to attend. Now that would be cool. I wouldn't mind going up to Canada and do a drag and drive. That'd be awesome. I got to get a trailer. I got to get a little trailer. Even for running around here, just to put all my tools and stuff in and lock it up, and I can just set it in the driveway, and have it ready every time I want to go racing. I think that'd be pretty cool. Brandon bought a 797 thermostat delete. I have the 160 thermostat, which failed. Was the reason I had to get a new motor. I'm done worrying about thermostat. It's not worth thousands of dollars. 100%. 100%, man. 100%. That thermostat delete kit works. I promise you. I haven't had any problems. How are we going to address traction? So I know we can hook because we've hooked already. So I'm not really addressing it quite yet because last week was a bunch of testing. So we tried the 2-step, which hit pretty hard. So obviously we didn't catch traction with the 2-step. The second run we did catch. We hooked and booked on that second run, though we were short a few pounds of boost. We did hook and book on that one. The third run, like I said, water came out of the back of the car because I overfilled the ice tank. Water got into the spare tire well and leaked out on the track, and that's why I spun. So I don't think I have to address traction yet. I think this weekend will be the telling tale because Mason Dixon is pretty good. Pretty good at keeping up with their prep, because it's also their Pontiac thing race going on. So we may not get as many passes as we'd like, or attempts as we'd like. I hope to get at least 3. And then if we have problems getting traction there, then we may look at trying to do something for Modern Street Hemi Shootout. You plan on breaking into the 7s? Not this year. Not this year. And the D1X is just not going to do it. There's just no there's no way, unless we added some significant nitrous to the mix. The D1X is not going to get us in the 7s. And 7s comes with a lot more safety, a lot more safety things than running, 9.0 to 8.5. So 7s may be in the future. We'll see. But I don't have a plan to do that as of yet, or even next year. So it would be a long time before I tried to hit the 7s. Eric says you should run that plum. Yep. Matt, eating pizzas, but I stopped in to say I'm the greatest who ever did it. 160 wheel horsepower gain with a stock block 6.4 Nag 1 car with pumpy 85 so far. 6.4s are the best. Bye. Nothing like Mac patting himself on the back, man. What a guy. What a guy. Mike, just get a Nomad toy / car hauler. No more hotel rooms. Yeah, right. Cletus style. RT Hemi would love for you to come to Alberta, Canada, and race Track Pack and I know. I would love to get up to see all you guys, man. I've been wanting to get up to see Track Pack for a long time. We've been talking about it for a couple years now. Me trying to get up there, or him trying to get down here, one or the other. But it just hasn't worked out for either one of us yet. One bad plum. I had issues running my skinnies last time out with the car going into limp mode because the tire diameter difference. Yeah, you want to keep the tires pretty close to the same, or you're gonna run into that issue. Yeah, you can't. What is it? I think it's smaller tires in the front is where you have problems. I think. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's smaller tires up front. Mike's going back to Mac. Everyone's laughing at Mac. Mac has been flexing that 6.4 all week. He has. He has been. Oh, gosh. Nuts. All right, Jay, let's go. Band's back together. You know it. You know it. We got to do it. Make it happen. All right, it's only bragging if you can't back it up. Mac can back it up, stuff he talks. That's true. Mac can back it up. Oh, yeah, that Orange Nova will be there. All right. Eric, Jay, and Don, rock on. We're going to rock on. We're going to make it happen. Just Stan, I never mentioned this before, but how do you run E85 during the winter? Yeah, I just fill up with E85 and it'll crank a few times before it starts up, or it may take me 2 or 3 times to start up. But hopefully with the Holly, we can fix that. So supposedly we can fix that just by doing a few tweaks to the tune to make it run. So the only problem with the wintertime sometimes is most of the places get the winter blend, which goes down into the low 70s, high 60s. But we have a place right outside of Fort Meade that keeps 80% consistently. So that's where I usually go. And also what we're going to do is, because the Dominator has the ability to do it, is you use it as a flex fuel. So all we got to do is do the right thing to hook the Holly up to the sensor, and boom, we have a flex fuel car that will read the percentage and fix the tune to whatever we're running, from E85, from 93 to 70 to 75 to 80, whatever alcohol we're running, it'll compensate for it. So that's really the plan, is, either fix the tune or get the Holly hooked up to my sensor, and we just let the Holly handle all the compensation, because it can run like it's a flex fuel system. Yeah, I don't mix. I just go fill up with E85 wherever I go to, be it Sheets, Royal Farms. Well, I haven't been to Royal Farms in a long time. Sheets is now just literally down the street from me. That has E85. The last time I went, it was like 75%, I think. But yeah. One bad plum. My skinnies are 27 and rears are 29. I think that's where the problem is when you have smaller front tires. Just I'm always worried about the ethanol freezing in the tank. No, it's got to be really, really, really cold for ethanol to freeze. I'm not sure exactly where you're at, Jickstead, but it doesn't get that cold here. One bad plum. I'm not sure if there's workaround for the diameter difference. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'm really not sure. I haven't seen anyone do it, or seen anyone do a workaround. But all right, Mankey, what's going on, buddy? Jay, you just put it in the fuel tank and go. That's what I do. I just fill her up and roll. That's how I work it. Brandon, I'm in Canada now at Harrison Hot Spring and Spa with the girlfriend. Nice. Go spend time with the girlfriend, man. You don't need to be in the chat tonight, Brandon. Go spend some time with the girlfriend. Have a good time up there in Canada. Canada is beautiful, by the way. If you've never been up to Canada, it's really, really a beautiful country. At least everywhere I've been to in Canada, which only been a couple places. But the one place we have been to a couple times is a place called Big Bass Lake, which is just north of Michigan, and just simply beautiful. Our friends have a cabin, a lakeside cabin out there. The lake is like, it's ridiculous. It's so clear, 30, 40 feet you can see to the bottom. It's so clear and so nice. So yeah, if you ever get a chance, go on up to Canada. It's a good time. Just say I'm south of you by one state. I've always been told the water in the E freezes in your tank below 32. I haven't had a problem with it. I haven't had a problem with it. Let's see, Brandon. What you guys think I should do? Go with a fabricated twin turbo kit with exhaust coming out the red eye Charger hood, or go with a Hellion or Cornerstone kit? That's interesting. I like the idea of the exhaust coming out the hood. That's pretty cool. Probably not so much for street driving, but the exhaust coming out the hood would be pretty cool. But I think if you're going to do any daily driving, I would go with the Hellion or the Cornerstone kit. Jade, most decent aftermarket standalones do that. I know Fuel Tech can adjust on the fly as well. Okay. All right, that's cool. That's cool. But that's the plan, is really to hook up the sensor to the Holly and let Holly do its thing. Brandon, any of y'all heard of DSR turbos? Cornerstone uses them in their kits, and I've never heard of that company. I want to make sure it's good quality if I choose them. I've never heard of DSR. Maybe Jay or someone else down the road may have heard of DSR, but I haven't. Jay, Brandon, how deep are your pockets? Yeah, that's always the question when it comes to especially turbos and fabrication. You got to have some pretty deep pockets. Just saying, I'm sold buying a flex fuel kit now when I get my car back. Yeah, check with your tuner before you get a flex fuel kit. Some tuners won't tune for flex fuel, so just make sure your tuner is good with you doing it. Hugh, pure ethanol freezes at 173 below zero. If the ethanol freezes, you're worried about survival, not your car. Heat is almost pure ethanol and prevents gas line freezing. Sweet. That's good info, Hugh. Brandon, pretty deeper now, Jay. Now the VA gave me my 60% rating, a year worth of back pay. That's awesome, Brandon. That's awesome, Brandon. You got 60%. That's awesome. Yeah, it does take the VA some time to get their stuff together, and they do give you back pay from the time you submit your claim. So, yeah, worth year's worth of 60%. You definitely got enough for some twin turb skis. That's for sure. Eric's laughing at Hugh. Eric, Brandon, I can get a loan. Can I get a loan? I got you, Brandon. Plus, I make railroad money on top of VA, so I'm pretty good pay wise. But the car hobby is my bad habit, no doubt about it. Brandon, in that case, get the custom setup, bro. It will save you in the long run. There you go. There you go. Chickstand, Dave asked me if I had a budget issue for the trans. I'll ask Dave if he would tune for flex fuel. Yeah. I think he will. Just ask him before you go buying everything to do the flex fuel system, because I know it's a tad bit expensive too. Make sure Dave's okay with which one he'll tune flex fuel, and two, he's good with whatever one you're buying. Brandon, of course, Eric, let me run your credit, see what your APR can get you. All right, Brandon. Eric, credit is great, cash flow isn't. Yeah, I know how that is. You can be like Jay/Oprah. You get a 6'4" and you get a 6'4". You get a 6'4", you get a 6'4", you get a 6'4". Tim, same, just hit 806. Nice. Mine was like, last time I checked was like 802. Brandon, goal was 90 or 100% VA rating. I'm shooting for that extra 30 to 40% before I get out. That's a lot of moolah and it's tax exempt. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100% is decent cash for sure, no doubt about it. Because I'm 70. My hot girlfriend is 100, so we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. Stuart, what do you think is best motor for an NA combo? Still the 6.4. Absolutely. The 6.4 just makes more power and makes more torque, especially on the low end. The engine for engine, and that was kind of what I was getting at in the video. I am strictly talking engine to engine. The 6.4 is just better. It makes more power. It makes more torque. And it's got a higher ceiling, whether you're naturally aspirated or boosted. It's still going to have a higher ceiling than a 5.7 is going to. And it's not that I'm not giving the 5.7 love. You guys know I spent 7.5 years running a 5.7 with Jay, Wide Body Mike, Mac, you name it. Anyone everyone and anyone in the Hemi world telling me go to 6.4, 6.4, 6.4 for the past probably 6 years since I started building my 5.7. RT Life told me to go to 6.4. Incredible Hemi was telling me to go 6.4. It's just got a higher ceiling, no matter which route you go. Eric Don finna do a 6.4 giveaway sponsored by me. Yeah, right. Raymond World, what's up, buddy? What's up? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. Eric, I'd enter. I hear you. Raymond World, 6.4 is a monster, but you need to build it. To be honest, just the stock 6.4 at 485 crank horsepower. So you're talking 430-ish, 440 wheel horsepower. That's a lot of horsepower for a street car. Yeah, but the 6.4 is this. Y'all heard me say this. The 5.7 was crazy when I had it and built it, but this built 6.4 is just stupid. It's just stupid. Jigstan, after he shit on the 5.7 for 15 minutes, I'm obviously entering. I wasn't. Maybe that video came off the wrong way. I wasn't trying to crap on the 5. I wasn't trying to crap on the 5.7. The 5.7 is a great platform as well. It's just the ceiling is not as high for the 5.7 as it is a 6.4. I love my Hellcat though. Yeah, Hellcats are awesome. There's the 6.2 supercharged 6.2. There's nothing wrong with that engine. There's nothing wrong with any of the three. You can't go wrong with any of the three. 5.7, 6.2, or 6.4. You really can't. It's just there is no replacement for displacement. Now, some people will tell you more boost is a replacement for displacement, but you have a 5.7 that's on 10 pounds of boost and you have a 6.4 that's on 10 pounds of boost. The 6.4 is always going to make more power and more torque. The 6.2 will make more power and more torque than the 5.7. I mean, we can even throw the 6.2 into the mix if you want. There's just no replacement for the displacement. Brandon, 90% VA rating for service member alone, no dependent, 2241. 100% service member alone, 37. Yeah, that's not a bad deal. Yeah, Stuart, I'm at 70% too. I could probably, it would be tough sledding because it is tough sledding to go from, that 60, 70% to 90 or 100%. It's tough sledding to get to 100%. Because the nickel and diamond stuff just doesn't work for the VA, and the way they rate things and the way they do things, 10% here, 10% there. It takes way more 10% to get from 70 to 100 than it does to get from 0 to 70. So it really is tough sledding, but I'm good with my 70%. Brandon, yes, Canada's very beautiful. I'm up all the time. Yep, I take the freight trains up here all the time from Washington. Girlfriend's first time up here, so it's a new experience for her. Nice, man. That's awesome. Jay, I wish I was like you all. I need to go get checked out. Yeah, Jay, you're really missing it, and I'm with you. But it's something. I don't want to say you earned it because it's, you're saying you're disabled or you have some kind of disability, but if something happened to you while you were in the military and it's continually affects you, that's why the VA is there. It's there for veterans to take, I don't want to say take advantage of, but to compensate them for things that happen to them while in the military. I did forget about the 6.1. The 6.1 is a stout engine as well. So now you have the 4 options: 5.7, 6.1, 6.2, and the 6.4. Huge fan of the 6.1, which is why I built a VVT 5.7 based 6.1. Yep. Ramey, got a special car for you to review. Have Instagram. I do. I'm on Instagram, and it's the same name as the YouTube channel, Modern Red Hemi. You can look me up on IG. Eric, they just offer so much in that platform. Great piston choices, great bore spacing, great heads. Yep. Stuart, retired from the Army. Thank you for your service, Stuart. I appreciate it. Being a veteran as well, I appreciate your service. Eric, Fax J, heads flow better than the 5.7. One bad plum. I'll be staying with the pre-Eagle 5.7 for a while. More than enough horsepower for me. Said no one ever. You say that now, but I know what's in the back of your mind. You can't say more horsepower is not in the back of your mind. All right. Oh yeah, where's Howcat says because he was saying Ripa finna take the Trackhawk record again. Those guys go back and forth, man, and really, I mean, there seems to be some. I don't know if it's social media frenzy that those two go back and forth, or there's really bad blood between the two of them. But Ripatoon and RSP DMV go back and forth and back and forth. It's just gets a little old for me, but Ramy, I'll add you and send you some pics. All right, sounds good. When you were comparing the 6.4 with the 5.7, I know you tried to say the 6.4 is better without crapping on the 5.7. It reminded me of someone consoling a friend with a. Oh gosh, Hugh, that's hilarious. Yeah, like I said, maybe that video sounded like I was crapping on the 5.7. I didn't mean it to come out that way. Because y'all know I love the 5.7. Look how long I stayed with the 5.7. And really the only reason I went with the 6.4 is because that was my quickest route to get to Rocky Mountain Race Week. If that forged 5.7 wouldn't have crapped out on me right before Rocky Mountain Race Week, I would still be running that forged 5.7. And I think it still had more in it. We were still on the bigger pulley. We were on a 3.6 pulley with that 5.7. So we could have dropped the pulley in the 5.7 and gone a little bit faster. How much faster? I don't know. 9.3, 9.4 maybe. But that 5.7 still had more in it. So yeah. All right. Now I'm trying to backtrack myself on my video. Maybe I need to post a comment in there. One bad pill. I'm never planning on going full race car. Yeah. None of us ever do. Stuart, 6.4 just has bigger bore and stroke. It's hard to say the 5.7 is better given the fact. I think better is a relative term. The 6.4 is just more in its stock form, right? The 6.1 is going to have more power than the 5.7. the 6.2 is going to have more power than the 6.1, and the 6.4 is going to have more power than than the 6.2. It's just physics. It's facts. Like I said, better is kind of a relative term, kind of subjective kind of term. But yeah. Anyway, all right. Trying to get off that soapbox. I don't know, but getting a Hawk down the track at 8.4 is ridiculous. It is crazy. It is crazy ridiculous. All right, Ramey, I'll check them out once I get off. Once we get off here, and we got about 18 minutes. Those Jeeps are crazy fast. All-wheel drive is sick. Yeah, it is. It is definitely crazy, especially on the street. It's ridiculous how fast those cars are on the street. Triple Z Racing, what's going on? Update on the bone stock 200,000 mile pre-Eagle 5.7 all-wheel drive 300C. 15 pounds of boost on an eBay turbo 10.6 at 127 to 151 60 foot. Going to turn it up more and see how far it gets. Nice, man. That's awesome. That 10.6 at 127, that's fast car. That's fast car. I know we talk about much faster stuff, but just in general, people don't realize how fast a 10-second car really is. But that's awesome, Triple Z. That's awesome. Yep. All right. Everyone's going back to Triple Z. Q64 is better in every way. More displacement, better head flow, better cam from the factory. It is. It is. Brandon, nice, Stuart. 70% is great. They denied a lot of my lower back, hips, and feet things. I took a longer look than I should starting my claims. My old staff sergeant kept telling me to do it, and I finally listened. There's plenty of organizations out there as well that will help you. AMVETS is the one that helped me, went through my medical records and wrote down everything. There's also the DAV, disabled veterans. They will also help you fill out your claim. And a lot of these things are free. They will just help you. You don't have to pay. And then there's lots of them out there that that will take your money to help you get a better rating, and some of them will reimburse your money if you don't get a better rating. So yeah, there's lots of ways to get to get from 60-70% to 100%. I just don't want to go through it. Chris, surprised the transfer case is holding up. I know, right? Eric's going back to Triple Z. Jickstan, I plan on getting SRT Jeep after getting this house. No need to swap to a 6.4 if it comes with it. That's right. That's right. Dells, hey Don, what are the pros and cons of installing an underdrive pulley? How much of a horsepower gain will it make? So on an NA, you're talking maybe 10 or so, if that. To my knowledge, there's really no cons to running an underdrive pulley, a bigger one. Now, if you're boosted, you could see upwards of 1.5, 2 pounds, 2 pounds of boost. So depending on where you're at and what your build looks like, that could be, 80 to 100 horsepower, just by adding a bigger underdrive. So yeah, so I haven't heard any cons to a bigger lower pulley. There probably are some, and someone will probably point them out down below, but I haven't seen any. But yes, if you're boosted, you're gonna see significant horsepower increase. Jay, great point. Jickstan, how much boost does eBay turbo make? How do you know what is a good turbo on eBay? Yeah, I don't know. Jay wants a 2010 SRT Grand Cherokee. Yeah, buddy. Stuart, going back to Brandon for me, maybe because I was tiring. They make a part of the out processing as a mysterious language they speak, and I had no idea what the percentages meant. Yeah, so we're back onto the VA. The VA does some funny math. They base their stuff on the whole body concept. So they'll take your largest percentage disability, apply that first, and then they'll start adding the tens. But that first, say you have sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is 50%. So you start off at 50%. And then say you have, bad knees. That's 10%. So that 10% comes out of the remaining 50%. And then so on and so on and so on. So as you get further and further down the road, closer to 100, those 10% don't mean jack diddly. It's virtually impossible to get from, the 60, 70% on 10% ratings. You have to have another large rating to be able to make it to that 100%. So it's tough. Z, slow car checking in. What's up, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. Jay says that's a loaded question. You can get a good one or a bad one depending on your application. I have eBay GT45s, and I know they've been pushed to 30 PSI. Sweet. Eric wants Jay's car as one of his favorites. Nice. I think that's correct, Jixnan. I like that. 6.1 SRT8s. Yep. Randy just ordered first track tires, Nitto 555 R2s for my Challenger RT. Gonna hit Maple Grove for the first time. Nice. The 555s, they're good to an extent. They're more of a street drag radial than they are a track drag radial. So just realize that. But the 555s are a decent tire. And Randy, if I remember correctly, you're still NA, so you probably will be okay with those 555Rs. But once you start making some additional horsepower, they're not going to be good enough. I hate to burst your bubble. Eric's going back to Jay. Ramy's retracting messages. Eric, you want something that's based on engine size. The turbine AR is the number that you're concerned with. Right, Jay, SRT8s are nice. Brandon, Don, are you still going turbos or getting a bigger Pro Charger blower? Right now, I just because of all of the things that have happened this year and not being able to get the car fully up to snuff until now, right now plus the funds aren't there. Right now I just want to enjoy the car. Next year, for the most part, I'm probably going to wind up enjoying the car, and then we'll look at probably turbos or a bigger Pro Charger later on next year. Jay, try to get something with a 0.96 or 1 to 10 AR. Gotcha. Stuart, go Army, beat Navy. You know what's nice about being in the Army and in the Navy? I can go either way. I can just sit back and wait and see who wins. BB, what was the best horsepower shake and bake put down before the Pro Charger? That is interesting. I cannot remember off the top of my head. I want to say it was mid to low 400s, 410, 420. I think I should have had it dynoed before putting the Pro Charger on, but I didn't. But I think it was like 410, 420, because I think it was the last time I did it before we put the Pro Charger on is when I did the ported heads. And really, NA didn't pick up that much. Jay, you'll most likely want 3-inch exhaust housing. Yep. Jake Stan, wondering about going 275 pulley and the belt. Does it matter? Yeah, 275. Can't remember. You're going to have to remind me if you're on a Pro Charger. I can't remember, Jake Stan. But a 275 pulley for a Pro Charger is pretty small because, like I said, I'm running a 3.2 and I'm maxing out the D1X right now with an 18% lower. So be careful if you're on a Pro Charger going that small. You're going to wind up really overspinning that Pro Charger a lot. 6 rib. 6 rib is better than 10. No. I mean, a 10 rib is going to be better than a 6 rib, but there's not a lot of support for 10 ribs out there. There's more support for 8 ribs. So you might want to look at an 8 rib setup. One Bad Plum runs a 275. No, Jig Stan, I was asking you, asking if you were 6 rib. Oh, well, that's a good pulley. Do you run a single belt or dual? So he's going back to One Bad Plum. Stuart, service-related injuries do add up over the years, and they can definitely inhibit your employment, lower back for me. Absolutely. And that's all part of it too. So it's separate from your disability, but connected. You can also get what's called unemployability. You can get an unemployability rating, which then boosts you up to 100%. Or can boost you up to 100%, depending on your unemployability status. So that's another thing you have to apply for through the VA, but you have that opportunity to apply for that if you obviously can't work. One Bad Plum single with the GT350 tensioner. Yep. Hugh, as a racist, it winds up. Do you plan on getting your subs to give their ideas on content that you can feature? I hope you can include that one in one of the chats. Yeah, I'm always open. I'm always open to content that I can feature. I'm always open to ideas. I know, Hugh, you've gave me a lot of ideas in the past, and sometimes I didn't go through. Probably most of the times I didn't go through with them because really some of that. Just look at the most recent video, right? The 5.7 versus the 6.4 video. I'm at probably here. Let me check real quick. So I'm at 600 views. That's actually not too bad for one of my off track videos. Obviously, my track videos and my dyno videos do way better than everything else. But normally these off track videos really don't do a lot for me. I know it's content out there that you guys like, and I don't mind doing it. But sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze. There's a guy in Texas making a single and twin turbo setup, 3200 and 4200, making Hellcat power on IRT. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I thought about making ETs next set. Yep. You just got to be careful on the street with the ETs. The 555Rs, arguably you could drive in the rain, but the Mickeys you definitely cannot drive in the rain. So just be careful when you do go Mickeys. If it's going to rain, take your at least your rears with you. If you go to the track. Jig Stan, I believe, is a 6 rib. All right. I hope you see that Don just moved his goalposts. I always move the goalposts. I always kick the can down the road. I do. So One Bad Plum's going back to Jig Stan. Dude, get some belt slip, but minimal. Don always does that. I do always do that. Noted, I wonder if dual belt helps smooth the system out. Oh, it could. A 2.9 Whipple. Okay, yeah, 275 pulley, you're probably good. Ramy, I meant to say whenever you check the picture I sent you, if you help me sell the car, I'll cut you a good commission, 15,000 miles. All right. Hey, I'll put it out there. I'm not worried about a commission, but I'll put it out there for you and see if we can get it sold. For sure, Ramy, I'll help you out. Jay, thank you so much, Eric. Really means a lot. Yeah, Eric's a good dude. Eric's really a good dude. Everyone in the chat's really good. Let me get back to the channel real quick. I've been really fortunate. I know we got 3 minutes left, but I've been really fortunate with my channel. There's always one guy that puts a thumbs down that dislikes my videos. I don't know why, but there always seems to be one dislike. If you go back and look at a lot of my videos, there's just one dislike. Just kind of, I don't know, just kind of gets at me. And I know everyone's going to do some dislikes now just to get on Don's nerves, but anyway, yeah. I ran with the dual Edelbrock, was better. All right. I see Hellcats do it, so I figured it was probably better. Yeah. I would think that the two belt system would be better because you're not putting so much tension, so much of everything on one belt. All right, we're down to 2 minutes. Let me get through these chats real quick, and we'll call it a night. So Eric's going back to Jay. Not sure I could go dual belts with the 2.9 Whipple. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's done it. Ramy, Mickey Thompsons are really slippery, especially in the rain. 100%. Mickey's are supposed to be good. I like Hoosiers better for manual cars. Yep. Ramy, no problem, buddy. That's what it's all about. Randy, well, if it's gonna rain, I ain't gonna race. Tires just for track. Yeah, I know, but sometimes you don't realize it, but it actually does wind up raining. It wasn't raining when I went to the track, but when I was on my way back from Cecil, 3/4 of the way, it started pouring down rain, just out of the blue, and it wasn't supposed to rain at all. So yeah, it's just kind of just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Jig stand 255 pulley. Must be a hater. Yeah, 100%. Thumbs down is probably a mistake since it's right next to the like button. True, could be. Yeah. Hit that like button, everybody. Hit that like button. All right, we're down to the last minute. Someone you spanked too hard at the track. Probably. Probably someone I whooped at the track and they didn't like it. I saw a supercharged twin turbo 5.7. Wow. That's a lot. Hugh, if you're going to drive in the rain with drag radials, Mickey Thompson SS or Nittos aren't too bad. Yeah. All right, folks. We just hit the 10 o'clock mark. We got through another hour. Y'all kept me going. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. You are the reason why I do these things. And I do, some of those off videos that don't get a whole lot of views. I do them mostly for you guys because you asked for it or hinted at it. And Hugh, I do need to get some more ideas from you or anyone in the chat. Hey, hit me up, on a Wednesday. Hit me up on Instagram, whatever. If you want to see some kind of content, and I'll see what I can do about getting it out. If I got some experience and understanding of what you want to do and I can speak on it intelligently, I'll go ahead and make a video. But that's going to do it for this one tonight, folks. Hopefully next week we can get Brian from ATS out here and talk about the 8-speed transmissions. That's it for this, folks. Till next time, adios.